episode is all about Batman. What some people down south in Australia call bigger is Batman. Shout out to the Weekly Planet. Guys, you know it's been almost 2.5 years since Batman fans, like people who own exotic paintings of Batman, that they got in Hawaii from their amazing wives. Do you guys know it's been 2.5 years?
Wait for it. Here it comes. Almost there. Since
Batman fans had real new Batman, right? Do you guys remember what that project was?
Was it Batman?
It was the Batman. yes, it was the dumb Batman. Yeah, it was Robert Pattinson's Batman, guys, and like the Penguin's about to come out. We will be covering it. If you want us to watch it, make sure to like and subscribe because we'll be covering it here on HBO Max. I think it comes out in September. Whenever it comes out, we'll be covering it. So just hit subscribe.
Hey Peter, do you know who I am?
The hell are you supposed to be?
Do you know who I am?
Wait.
Who are you?
Oh, you're that guy who was here last night, totally not in a Batman suit, saying the same exact thing. Thank you,
yes.
Robert Pattinson. Worst acting ever in a Batman, and that is giving George Clooney's Batman.
Ooh!
Yep.
No. You never leave the Batcave without the Batcard.
Never leave the cave without it.
You two boys aren't gonna start fighting over little old me now, are you?
Is this new Batman?
Don't come at my George Clooney.
Begin again.
I love George Clooney. He's the worst Batman ever made. But Robert Pattinson, I think, eclipses that. Even though we have the best Riddler ever done, but the worst Batman. And
I'm sorry. The best Riddler ever done is...
When is the top of a mountain like a savings account? When it piques one's interest. When does a painter use a trigger instead of a brush? When he's a stick-up artist.
The Riddler from the Adam... Oh, I was going to say Adam West Batman Riddler, but no, Jim Carrey was the fucking GOAT Riddler. Jim Carrey, GOAT Riddler. You're absolutely 100% right.
Riddle me this.
Riddle me this.
Riddle me this. Riddle me that. Who's afraid of the big black bat?
Do you remember Robert Pattinson's Batman? How the movie ended, and then 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 the movie ended.
There was how is this guy
40 minutes of extra ending to the ending of that movie.
Please, guys, like and subscribe to this podcast because right now we have less subscribers than this incel serial killer at the end of Robert Pattinson. How?
Change? We'll give him a real change now. We've spent our lives in this wretched place suffering.
How did he have so many followers who were able to take up arms against an entire city? It doesn't make any
Now that's a superhero landing.
since he had like 120 subscribers. I'm not jealous.
I'm jealous. Okay, so no, I'm envious. I'm envious, definitely.
I'm not jealous. I'm taking this, and I'm who's that asshole on the internet who's really fat and now he's
Andrew
skinny
Tate?
and he's a Marine. Gerbins, you know, he's like Joe Rogan's like BFF. You know what I'm talking about? Anyway, God dang it.
So anyways,
Richard Gogan.
There's another Batman. So DC, being DC, instead of creating anything new or
David Goggins. Sorry.
Peacemaker. Maybe we do more Peacemaker.
Yeah,
my wife
want to make new stuff.
My wife literally asked for Peacemaker last night. She was like, "When's Peacemaker season 2 coming out?" And I said, "Do you hear her? Do you hear her HBO/Google voice?"
Where did you find this person, Major? Good God!
I found her at a Day to Remember concert. I kid you not. I found her at a rock concert.
Wow.
So I will say this.
She's pretty cool.
This is my wife.
I feel like I've said this on the podcast before, but when all else fails, DC reinvents Batman.
Reinvents?
Hey,
No.
You know, guys.
There's one.
What was cool in the late '90s that dads would love? Remember that show Batman Beyond or whatever it was called in the '90s? That really cool Batman show. Let's try to redo that.
Look, there's only been one reinvention of Batman, and that was the original invention of Batman.
Scatman.
Right? There's two creators of Batman. Do you guys know who they are?
Man, Bear, Pig.
Man, Bear, Pig. It was
Einstein?
Bob Kane and Bill Finger, right? Bob Kane is the one who was given all the credit for Batman in the 1989 Batman Forever movies, right? Like originally, Bill Finger just got kind of written out of existence. But Batman by Bob Kane was ridiculous looking. Bill Finger came in and redesigned the Batman to look as iconic as he is today. And guys, yes, we are going to get into the Caped Crusader. Trust me, we're going to get there. And we're going to talk about the little bat squiggly line on his chest, right? And yes, we're going to talk about the bat nipples of Clooney. Okay, we're going to talk about all the Batmans, all the designs.
Yes,
but I just want to point out that the real reinvention of Batman is by Bill Finger, who makes him the iconic person he is today. Everything else is just a fun adaptation from Tim Burton to Christopher Nolan, right? Batman is Batman is Batman is Batman. I understand what you're saying, but I don't agree with it.
Hey, can you name another DC character? Yes, you can. Everybody here can name another DC character.
Right.
And yet, whenever DC is failing, who do we come back to?
Trump. I mean, Batman.
Superman as well.
No, we should.
No, not even Superman. Not even Superman. There are more Batman remakes than Superman remakes.
Here's the problem. Superman
Probably.
should. Can you imagine how great America would be if we had the number of Superman movies we had of Batman movies? Like little boys, men, Boy Scouts, Eagle Scouts, men in general, right? These people who listen to Andrew Tate.
You're fucking poor.
Would be listening to Henry Cavill for his 13 movies. Look.
Hold on to hope. Believe in the strength within you to overcome adversity. Know that every setback is an opportunity for growth, and every failure is a stepping stone towards success.
The battle against porn addiction is a different kind of fight.
Wolverine.
People should be listening to Andrew Tate.
No, that's what I'm saying, right? If Henry Cavill was allowed to be Superman, like Hugh Jackman was allowed to be Wolverine, right? Hugh Jackman did 10 movies, right? If Henry Cavill could do 10 movies of Superman, you don't think the men growing up watching that, plus the original Christopher Reeves, thank you.
Wow.
Like what? Like, can you imagine how great, how generous, how charitable these men would be growing up watching half a decade of Christopher Reeves and then just 10 movies? What, that's like 20, 25 hours of Henry Cavill being a chivalrous Superman? Like, that is the kind of idolation.
Easy, miss. I've got you.
You've got me. Who's got you?
Ooh, they're tippers. That's not going to stop Superman. I'm sorry, buddy. That's not going to stop Superman.
To stand in my way. That's kryptonite.
Kind of my point, though, is that DC consistently is just boxed into this Wonder Woman.
Look,
Aquaman,
but until you get your foundation right.
So many cool characters on so many different. Yeah, dude, they're really.
So the issue I have is that growing up, you had this choice. Before Image Comics came out, you had DC or you had Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, Marvel was the obvious choice because DC, when it came, who had movies out, who had comics out, who had a lot bigger part of the market at the time, it was all Batman, and then Superman.
All right.
And then I guess you get the Justice League, but like there was nothing beyond that. Whereas Marvel was X-Men, X-Force, Alpha Strike, Fantastic Four, Wolverine. Like not only did you have teams, but you had individual comics. And when you went to a comic book store, you know, it was like, ooh, like how did this individual comic contribute to the bigger story? And DC was always like, hey, let's take our biggest things since the 1940s, the 1930s, and the 1920s, and let's just keep running that machine.
Doing it.
Superman is awesome. And in fact, I think I was texting with Major today about how I remember watching the cartoons when I was a kid, and I had nothing better to watch. I remember watching the old Superman cartoons from like the 1950s where they just got color, and he doesn't even fly. He leaps higher than the tallest buildings.
Look at the bird.
I only watched it because it was something to watch. But then in the 90s, you have X-Men come out. And now you have X-Men 97, which is, dealing with that.
God.
But when
So
X-Men as a show came out as a kid, I was like, holy shit, this is something brand new. It's so edgy. It is so anti-DC. It is not generic and clean. There's so much nuance to it. And here I am in my 40s, and I still have the same issue with DC and Marvel. DC
it's kind of the same
is
thing.
coming back to Marvel. It's coming back to Superman. It's coming back to Wonder Woman and the Justice League. And the crazy part to me is that they have such a huge universe. They have such a huge universe of comics.
They do.
But I am not interested at all at exploring it because they rely so heavily on their main characters.
Look,
Rant
this
over.
guy
DC has a lot of like really gritty, dark.
They
people.
do. That's the crazy part, though.
Toyman, please tell me you purchased the extended warranty.
Uh-oh.
Is that a thing with every chair? I am going to stand.
You know whose fault this is? Kite Man's. And you picked him, Bane.
I think we should be supportive of each other.
Give me some fucking space and take a seat.
Well, my point is...
You're fired.
What happened to 2 weeks' notice?
If you read the original, like, Riddler, if you read, like, the original, like, they have some really dark characters in there. But I'm not invested, and I'm not interested in it. Because they do a poor job of
Killing
creating
Joke is like... Oh my
it's
god!
one of the best comic books ever.
Oh my god!
Highly rated.
Yeah.
How many times have I seen Joker and Batman?
But I know how you got me.
Before you die inside yourself,
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
1,000.
That's the problem I have.
No, but it's such a good dynamic. Look, here is the problem, Matthew. You are complaining about the Kama Sutra, which has 1,250 verses. But I'm telling you, right now, you 40-year-old son of a bitch, you love Missionary. Missionary's classic, you love Doggy Style, and you love a third one. And that is the trifecta. That is Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman. Okay? Look, I understand you want more. Every once in a while, you are going to wheelbarrow that amazing woman that you wrapped up in life, right? But most nights, you want Batman. You want Missionary, okay? That's all I'm saying. Yes, there's a reason why we keep going back to Batman, and that's because he's a fucking goat. He is the best Superman. You can't fucking beat that Superman. You can't beat him as a superhero. He doesn't even have superpowers. How cool is it that the greatest superhero of all time has no superpowers?
Major, are you saying that Batman is like
the greatest?
Well,
yes.
This is the same problem with your last analogy about like how many times have you seen boobs? It's like, yeah, I mean, boobs are great, but Batman's only one pair of boobs. So like seeing the same pair of boobs over and over again.
Like, Batman's like a D though. He's like a
Missionary,
D, where you don't really get
no. Stop.
The same person over and over again. You know?
Adam West, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, Robert Pattinson, Olin Soul, Diedrich Bader, Kevin Conroy.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
Bruce Greenwood, Will Arnett.
I've seen you go through similar phases in 2016 and 2012 and 2008 and 2005 and 1997 and 1995 and 1992 and 1989 and that weird one in 1966. Do you want to talk about how you're feeling right now?
I don't talk about feelings, Alfred. I don't have any. I've never seen one. I'm a night-stalking, crime-fighting vigilante and a heavy metal rapping machine. I don't feel anything emotionally except for rage. 24/7, 365, at 1,000,000%. And if you think that there's something behind that, then you're crazy. Good night, Alfred.
Sir, it's morning.
They're all the same pair of tits to you, Forrest? They're all the same pair of tits? No! They are not the same Batman.
Clooney's like a Z.
The best Batman of all time is Will Arnett and Lego Batman, and he is nothing like the rest of the Batman.
Like only Michael Keaton, Christian Bale, and maybe I guess Kevin Conroy in animation are like really the only like.
Will Arnett. Will Arnett, are you not paying your fucking flowers? He is the greatest Bat. Oh my god, dude. When he's eating that lobster bisque, it's so.
But
Kevin Conroy's the greatest. But
him
yes,
in the Lego movies, like he. Is a great gateway for kids.
He's lovable.
Yeah, he's lovable, and the kids get interested in the comics because of him, and it's just amazing. So I will definitely give a thumbs up to Will Arnett. But
Kids definitely need a gateway, like a fun, like happy gateway.
Exactly,
and that
Lego
is
Batman.
yeah.
You know, a fun gateway can lead to an exciting career in Batmanology. Or at least something close to it. I mean, not if you're like me and you're a Batman fan, but you're unlike me and you live near the University of Victoria in Canada. They actually offer a college course called the Science of Batman. Can you imagine? Just be like, sorry, babe, I can't take you out tonight. I have to study the science of Batman.
Is it a course or an actual like degree?
It's not a full major. It's just a course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's others.
Batman. One of the producers of Batman like taught a university course, I guess, like on the psychology of comic book characters or something.
How much fun? How much fun would that be?
That's fine.
That's
But
great.
I guess, and I guess you can get like a physics of Batman if you actually use physics, but
or physics of Superman would be
Well,
more.
which also I gotta say, as much as I will shill and I will love and I will defend the hell out of Batman the Caped Crusader. One of the funniest, worst problems is the physics in the show. Like at some point, it's like someone's
hitting.
No. It's like a huge fat person's like dangling like over the building, and they're just wrapped up by like a little batarang, and then Batman just goes, huh! And that person goes, huh! And just flies way over to the other side, and it's like Batman exerts 55 pounds of force this way, and then a 400-pound man flies with 800 pounds of Newton. Or
that would actually be
Newton
really
feet.
interesting to discover, like, how strong is Batman? Like, what's his bench press? Given that he can throw a 220-pound oaf like fucking 12 feet, you know, like, what can that guy squat? Like,
if you watch the Snyder cut, you'll see him work out.
Major.
Yes.
This female. So you like talk about like all these Batman, all these great Batman, and but like in terms of penguins, female penguin was definitely the best, right? This was by far and away.
Let's talk about Oswaldo. Let's get into the entire series.
We're into Caped Crusader now.